Hi, I'm Tom Gruber, and the topic of our session today is happiness, well-being, and depression. Now, this encompasses a range of conditions from diseases like psychosis and depression to states of health like well-being. Let's just call the whole range of conditions mental wellness. And the focus of my remarks is how technology can and should influence mental wellness. Now, everyone cares about mental wellness, yet compared to other needs like physical health, wealth, and entertainment, it has gotten relatively little attention from technology. And two things are changing that: the crisis of social media and the pandemic. The crisis of social media is well documented by the film The Social Dilemma. It explains how in just a few years, AI and big data-driven social media platforms have basically addicted billions of people to spend a lot of their times on the sites. And as a consequence, it has negatively impacted the mental wellness of our population. It has sent teen suicide rates through the roof, encouraged outrage over dialogue, and induced an almost psychotic-like break with reality due to algorithmically amplified misinformation. Now, this is not happiness and well-being. This is technology influencing mental wellness at scale. Now, it doesn't have to be this way, and that's another conversation for another time. The other thing that's happened is COVID. Living in quarantine for a year has made it clear to everyone that software digitally mediates our lives. But that mediation isn't just a source of addiction and depression. It's a source of new opportunities, a new way to see your doctor or to reach out for emotional support, and other ways of using software in our daily lives. COVID has normalized living online and on our technology. And driving this wave is artificial intelligence that is optimized for the individual. Let's talk about a few examples of technology deliberately designed to have a positive impact on mental wellness. Let's first talk about the opportunities in telehealth care. The healthcare revolution was already happening before the pandemic. But the old way was the occasional visit to the psychiatrist or doctor's office or hospital. The new way is you interacting with your healthcare provider over the internet using your smartphone. But beyond remote access, telemedicine enables the continuous measurement of many channels of data about the individual, which can be used proactively for wellness as well as for treatment. And combined with AI, that can make a big difference. Take, for example, the problem of serious mental illness. Millions suffer from conditions such as bipolar disorder, PTSD, and depression. Mental health care professionals are not very good at predicting when someone will suffer from one of these conditions, even though early intervention can save lives and restore normal cognitive function. Furthermore, there are not enough healthcare providers to reach out and monitor the conditions of patients on a daily basis. What if we could deploy AI models that could predict from the data already available when someone would need care for their condition? A company called MindStrong has developed a telehealth service that can do just that. They've developed models that are based on digital brain biomarkers that measure human cognition and mood. It turns out that the human-computer interactions required to operate a smartphone puts a cognitive load on the person, which provides a sensitive window into low-level cognitive functions. The system gathers data on how the user taps and scrolls and uses the keyboard, and a big neural net uses that data to detect disruptions in the cognitive circuits in your brain. From changes in this behavior, the model can predict clinically relevant disruptions to cognitive control and working memory. Here's a real-world case. A patient under care for bipolar disorder and psychosis seemed to be doing okay, but her brain biomarkers indicated something was wrong. Her healthcare team was alerted and discussed the situation with her. She checked herself into the hospital for care and treatment, and to her great relief, she was able to restore her health to normal life. Another example is in the realm of migraine prediction. Migraine headaches are a big, mostly unsolved problem for millions of people. Although there are a few drugs that can alleviate symptoms, there is no effective prevention or cure. The most important variable is to understand when to intervene and which therapy to apply. based on prediction of migraine from triggers. The triggers are sometimes hard to detect, and there's a lot of variability across patients and across time. This is an opportunity for AI technology, which can be pretty good at predicting things from lots of messy data, like the many things that can trigger migraines. A company called Migraine AI is on the forefront of this new wave of personalized medicine, using AI to make sense of the data that's available every day. The company came up with a system that, using only data on your smartphone, could predict migraines better than humans. Now, the key turns out to be gathering good data on a daily basis. You start with a good log of symptoms, like how you slept the night before. But just as important to getting accuracy is the continuous daily collection of what's called vital signs. Now, these are the measurements that a nurse takes when you go to the doctor, like heart rate, blood pressure, and temperature. Also, the things that you might get from a wearable ring or a watch these days, such as heart rate variability. The Migraine AI team came up with a way of inferring from a video, a selfie video that you take with the phone, that the AI can infer the vital signs on a daily basis in private in your own home. And with this data, the program is able to predict when and how to intervene to mitigate migraines. And now let's talk about a third example in gaming. We all know that a lot of people are involved in gaming and that they can be addictive and they can have negative impact on mental health. They can be sources of isolation, and they often induce rage and negative emotional states. And we also know that technology has a lot to do with the power of gaming on mental wellness. Now, what if you could use that same kind of powerful technology applied in a game-like experience, but instead of rewarding aggressive rage, it helps you develop skills for self-care and pro-social interaction. That's exactly what a company called TrueLove.ai is doing. Instead of optimizing for dopamine-fueled addiction, their game-like experience offers a nurturing relationship with an AI character that optimizes for caring and compassion. Over 2 million people have downloaded the early experiment called Self-Care, which is showing a new way for interface experiences to influence human behavior in a positive direction. Now, stepping back, what is the common thread in these three examples? It is technology consciously applied to improve mental wellness. The AI and data driving these systems isn't used to manipulate our attention for someone else's benefit. It's there to help us understand what is going on in our minds and bodies. And I claim this is the proper role for technology in mental wellness. Thank you.